Hello everyone and welcome back into the Perennial round of 16. My pleasure to introduce very cool and black belt, two very solid teams who we saw put up very strong showings in the round of 16, but who I think are going to be ever so slightly mismatched here in the, good performances in the round of 32, maybe slightly mismatched here in round of 16 as we do get a slightly harder map pool now for the number 3 and number 14 seeds out of qualifiers. I'm also joined by Demarsh for this match. Afternoon, Demarsh. What's poppin'?
Hello. I mean, Black Belt, they've got some solid players. Chika, Execurito, Zubs as well. But yeah, like you said, they both did quite well in round of 32, but yeah, round of 16, I think the unfortunate seeding when you look at Very Cool, they are a very strong lineup. So it'd be interesting though. It'd be interesting to see what Black Belt can do on this pool.
Absolutely. I'm going to be excited to see what kind of scores we see from Very Cool, actually. I mean, this is a team that is just absolutely ridiculous in terms of roster strength. So I'm very excited to see what they're able to put up on this map pool for us here. Just to take a look at the scores from this team in qualifiers. Every single map they were top 10 aside from Nomad 1 in quals. And they were number 1 on Hard Rock 1, so that number 14 score on Nomad 1 says absolutely nothing about their aim consistency and general strength on aim. Not to mention, of course, number 4 on DT1 as well. So yeah, very good team, and top 3 on every single individual mod pool for this team. So just a completely dominant qualifiers performance to get seed number 3 here. And then for Black Belt, they have their strengths. They are definitely a very solid team on some particular things. Speed, definitely a place where I think we're going to see Black Belt try to pick into, and Very Cool maybe ban out. But yeah, there's a very clear difference in strength between these two teams, and I sadly expect this match to be a little bit quick, but that's okay because we have another match coming up in just a half hour anyway. So even if this match is quick, we will be able to see more of the next match coming up.
I mean, it's not to say that maps aren't winnable, but I think the match just might be a bit out of range for them. But there's it's all going to come down. Oh, never mind. Okay, I thought Fire Rage rolled a 1 for his actual roll-in match.
No. almost.
I was gonna say, Jesus.
Yeah, no. Just rolling for bans there real quick. Hitting 2, actually, the first ban for Very Cool, maybe not coming to this match with the usual preparation, because what is actually happening from both of these teams? I'm so surprised to see a double time 2 ban from Black Belt as well. But yeah, this is a very weird set of first bans for both of these teams. I guess just not banning strategically, just kind of banning the maps that they don't like in this pool. As honestly speaking, Black Belt I think their best strength is probably speed. Well, not gonna be picking the speed against Very Cool, I suppose, for Black Belt. We are waiting on the first pick from them as well. First pick from Black Belt.
And the other thing you have to consider as well, Very Cool, do they even have their full lineup here? Maybe not.
Yeah, true. We may.
It's hard to say, isn't it? Really.
Yeah, they are a team who I could definitely see not necessarily needing or wanting their full roster at the very start of the tournament, and so maybe they don't have that full roster with them. Maybe players who they would usually send in on some of those low approach rate rating picks are not here. And maybe that does clue Black Belt into this Nomad 4 pick, the tech map in this pool. Very slider velocity and slider aim focused tech map. Kind of what you expect from 2022 tech picks overall. We saw this in the previous match, and it was picked up by both The and Kissing On. But yeah, not too much to say about this map. I think this is a map that you kind of expect to see in tournament no mod 4s as of recent, with a lot of really wonky slider shapes and a lot of high slider velocity, a lot of changes in slider velocity, and a lot of really hard to aim sliders with some very, very tough to pick up slider ends as well. So no surprises to see a really solid tech roster from Very Cool in on this map. Fire Rage, Zudinator, Taquito, and Bubble Man going to be going in for this one to try and take a break point off the first pick from Black Belt, sending in Zubs, Defons, Checha, and Excurito.
Yeah, again, such a power, such a powered lineup here, coming from the Very Cool side. But it's an interesting first pick from Black Belt. I wonder if they've gone with the we'll pick our strongest maps method into this one, or whether they've just not bothered. And you know, they might just pick the bangers, because this is a bit of a banger, you know.
Solid start to this map for both teams. Checha does find a couple of misaims on the slider heads and does find a couple of slider breaks because of that. Being matched by Taquito, though, so even combo for both teams, though. There goes Defons, and now full combo advantage in the favor of Very Cool. Actually, 2 FCs in the favor of Very Cool. Now is Excurito, the last player alive for Black Belt, has been their star player, honestly, despite being the lowest ranked player on their team. If you know anything about him, Excurito, a very, very strong tournament player for his rank. But unfortunately, the team consistency from Very Cool is going to be more than enough to create a pretty big score lead here at the halfway mark.
Halfway through, players aren't really managing to hold on to any combo at all, which is kind of surprising as it's their first pick. I would have thought they'd be at least able to keep one player down with a full combo, but yeah, just Taquito is having trouble here recent on the side of Very Cool, like you said. 3 full combos. I mean, it's, you know, it's even on the first map, a triple break there for Black Belt is going to leave them just in a bloodbath, unfortunately, as you just see red, and more red.
Well, and this is why I was excited to see what kind of scores we would see from Very Cool, because this team score, I mean, if you were watching the previous match between Pissing On and this team score for Very Cool just absolutely blows both of those teams out of the water, and to be expected given the caliber of players that you see from both of these, or from this roster for Very Cool. Just, yeah, 3 full combos on that map, 3 million team score. Again, just to reiterate just how strong of a score that was, the best team score we saw from either Pissing On or was Pissing On's 2 million, and that is with players like Skilla, Lifeline, Shirahayuki, and Dimi going in for it. So still a very solid roster from seed number 6 and Pissing on that map. Still a million score down from what Very Cool was able to do on this map, just absolutely blowing Black Belt out of the water on their first pick. And yeah, you know, when you look at the top 3 seeds in this tournament, that's the kind of results you expect early stage. And it's good to see these really well put together teams, these super teams early on, still continue that same level of consistently high scores for their members.
I mean, it's not like it's impossible for a high seed team to just drop a loss unexpectedly. I've seen it happen in multiple big tournaments. So there is that little bit of doubt that creeps to the back of the mind where it's like they shouldn't lose, but you know, anything could happen. You know, a roster could turn up on the day. Not necessarily this early on, but you know, quarterfinals, semi-finals, it's not impossible for a team like this to slip up with for a number of different issues. But you know, so far they've done their job, and going into their first pick, I expect nothing less really from this this insane lineup.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a ridiculous lineup, and these are really ridiculous Hard Rock players for a CS 6.5 Hard Rock pick, really focused on 1/3 aim control. Is really the name of the game with this one. A lot of awkward aim and aim control in this pick, besides the 1/3s that you see. your sort of anti-aim, your linear jumps, your weird spacing and weird angle jumps all over the place in this map. But the main draw here is being able to consistently hit the really tough 1/3 and keep your aim control together despite the relatively high BPM jumps with those 1/3 patterns. You see a couple early breaks for Zubs there right at the start. Excurito also finding a break right at the start of the map, only 20 combo down from an FC. Taquito going to be dropping the full combo to match Zub's combo break, but the accuracy and the extra drops from Excurito not going to be helping the case for Black Belt on this first pick from Very Cool. Looking just as solid as we saw in the last map. Angel Kana, Zudinator, and Fire Rage still holding the full combos.
There goes Zutinator, but, Checker will be there to unfortunately trade it up. It isn't an even trade, unfortunately. There's 2 full combos to 1. Defon's the lifeline, really, for Very Cool right here. Taquito, Angel Kana also finding a break as well, so just down to Fiery Rage versus Defon's here. But, I mean, it's such a score difference at this stage that the effort that's going to be needed to pull this back is monumental.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Defons, despite holding that full combo, 700k, highest score in the lobby actually for Defons right now. There's just not that much potential score left in his play, right? He's only got about 300,000 score max right now that he can add on to his play, and so, well, with that break, I mean, it's going to seal it up regardless, but this was already one for Very Cool. Fiery Rage just looking to close out the full combo, as he tends to do on these CS 6.5 precision picks. Fiery Rage, one of the best precision hard rock players there is in OSU tournaments, and has been for a very long time. Expected to see him complete that full combo on this map. Honestly, a little bit of an unexpected low score from a lot of the other members on Very Cool. The 500k is averaging out for the other members, I think lower than what a lot of people might have expected from this team, but it is round of 16, maybe not coming quite as practiced as they usually would be for a lot of other matchups. And so Fiery Rage with that full combo going to be securing victory for this roster and an early 2-0 start for them as well.
Yeah, I think it's interesting as well. I feel like Taquito has had some issues recently, with tournaments of late, trying to get those high scores. Always just seems to find a lot more breaks. Might just be a phase, but definitely seems like a more frequent issue. At least that's what it comes across like. So looking for another change of pace really for Black Belt. They're gonna need to pick something kind of fresh, or potentially even something a little easy. A roster like Very Cool, very high skill cap, but can sometimes get tripped up on easier maps. It's a decent shout if you're not really sure what to go for, but they're going to go 3 mod 1.
This is a little bit of an interesting pick with what you were saying about, potentially picking into easier maps. I don't know that this is going to be one of the easier picks, though I think this is going to be one of the more popular maps that we see through this tournament. This map is the low aim pick in Fremont, CS3 and AR 9.4. So, generally speaking, a pick in this pool that is gonna be pretty solid no matter what mod you go. In this tournament, the free mod maps, by the way, do require every player to take a mod, so every player is either going to be taking Hidden or Hard Rock or Easy. You are technically allowed to play Easy, though I don't think we're going to be seeing any of it on this map. This map kind of balanced between Hidden and Hard Rock, largely due to the circle size and approach rate. The style of mapping, I think, doesn't really favor one or the other, but the reason I think this is going to be a relatively popular pick is because the sections outside the key eyes are very, very structured in terms of the way the flow aim presents itself, and then the sections during the key eyes switch to a little bit less structured, more low BPM stream style of mapping rather than structured alt style of mapping that you find outside the key eyes. So you get a little bit of both, and I think it's a kind of comfortable mapping style for a lot of different players. We are going to see 3 Hiddens for Black Belt, 1 Hard Rock on Defons. Not too surprising there. Excurito does more recently prefer the Hidden over the Hard Rock in tournament. And so where he would usually go that Hard Rock, I think has started to prefer that Hidden. Fiery Rage with the Hard Rock only, Zudi with the hidden Hard Rock, and then Bubbleman and Taquito with the hidden onlys. Little surprised to see Bubbleman on the hidden only, though this approach rate is very, very comfortable for a map like this. And one other thing I did forget to mention, you do see a few 1/6 bursts in this map, so a little bit of a speed requirement in certain points, as those 1/6 are 240 BPM in this map.
Yeah, I think the story with Bubbleman really is just he's you know, he's on the wind down from tournaments really, and would probably just prefer to play maps that's more comfortable rather than, you know, push his limits. You know, his job is to try and bring home consistency, and we do see a break from Zooty, the hidden Hard Rock. All very cool. This is interesting.
Yeah, this is actually looking very, very solid for Black Belt at the moment. Fiery Rage and Taquito doing what they can to hold on to the FCs. But there go both Defons and Excurito, and now that double FC from Very Cool looking more and more daunting, as Zubs and Checha are going to need to hold on to the FCs of their own just to keep the scoreline even. Ignitor on a good recovery with the hidden Hard Rock as well. A little bit poor accuracy, I think, maybe due to sight reading. I did see some players talk about this map needing a bit of an offset, so if you are going to sight read this pick, you may have to adjust offset mid-map if possible. A break there from Taquito on the full combo, though, now leaves combo advantage with Black Belt, and this pick definitely working out for them now. Zubs and Checha. Not Zubs, just Checha going to be holding onto the full combo, and Zootinator probably now has enough combo to, despite the poor accuracy, start taking some of the score lead back for Very Cool, as Defons just not high enough combo to compete, and there goes his combo as well now. And it's just Checha standing alone against all players from Very Cool, and the FC on Hard Rock from Fiery Rage now unopposed with that last break.
Yeah, but it was an interesting back and forth for quite a while there. Black Belt did have the potential to take that for quite a while, but yeah, like I said, once it started to fall apart, it all went downhill. And a break there for the fans, and really it was just only Excurito who's got any combos. Others is there as well, actually, but obviously doesn't even come close to Very Cool. Fiery Rage does drop the FC though, which is unfortunate, but he has done more than enough for his team there. Now on the recovery charge.
No full combos for either squad, but it's still going to be 500,000 score up for Very Cool by the end of the map. The top score coming in from Zootinator on this map at the end of it, with the high combo she held near the end there. Does manage to claw back some of the accuracy as well, though I think that lack of offset probably not helping her act on this map, unfortunately. 600k minimum score for Very Cool on that map really goes to show, again, we talk about the team consistency in 4v4s as something that is kind of necessary going up against these higher seeded squads, and this is why, right? Even when they find those breaks, even when they joke in chat about not having the map, they still get 600k minimum in this round of 16 pool. With a 750k high score from Zootinator, it's not too bad of a score for them. Defons and Excurito having a little bit of trouble with the map is all they really need to take advantage of that inconsistency and take the point 3-0. That is going to be a Nomad 5 next pick, by the way, for Very Cool. It's a speed map. They have a very good speed roster. It's not too surprising. We were talking about, potentially Black Belt picking into speed, but with the earlier ban from Black Belt on Double Time 2, I think probably not going to be the way this match shakes out, as they do have a very, very good speed roster for Very Cool. Not too much to say about this map, by the way. This is Nomad 5. It's a lot of bursts and some streams and some single taps in between them and maybe some buzz sliders here and there. And that's about it. Kind of what you expect from Nomad 5. No weird finger control stuff going on in this map like you used to see in older map pools. And it's kind of been interesting to see Nomad 5 evolve into like kind of a middle ground between DT2 and DT3 in these map pools. And so not a really interesting map anymore as it used to be, but I think to the benefit of teams like Very Cool, who are just very, very good on speed and have rosters that can take advantage of maps that really do focus in on that raw speed stamina test.
I think what's interesting here is, you know, the fact that this Nomad 5 is quite short. You know, it isn't going to take a lot for your, you know, in terms of combo to really build up a very nice score, even if the AC isn't necessarily favorable to you. You know, so there is potential for Black Belt to maybe be able to do stuff if they can just combo game. They don't have to necessarily get good AC. But something that's a little concerning I've noticed is Black Belt really haven't made many substitutions in this match.
Yeah, I kind of think you're right about that one with Zubs going in for this map and Defons going in for this map. My men are not speed players right there, so they do not have their speed roster right now. Xkirito is a pretty good speed player, but 1v4 on this map in round of 16, maybe not that good. I don't think he can work the magic for that one. So with a speed roster unavailable for Black Belt, it looks like they are picking into the maps which these 4 players are good at. And now it definitely makes sense why they are picking the way they are, picking into the gimmicky stuff, picking into the weirder maps, because that's what these other 3 players joining Xkirito are really good at for this roster. So this map at this point, just a matter of course. We'll see the max score from Very Cool. It'll be higher than the max score from Black Belt, and all will be right with the world. They'll get their 4-0. And then hopefully we can see another close pick from Black Belt after the second round of bans come through, as you know, this roster, despite what you see on the speed pick being a little comedic, honestly, they're very, very good at the gimmicky maps in this pool, and I think we can see close picks between these 2 teams if they are able to pull one of those pocket picks out of their hat.
Yeah, I mean, the potential's open for them on this final map, but yeah, it's really going to have to come down to, it is just going to have to be a bit of luck. You know, Very Cool are going to have to get, you know, low rolls with all their scores. You know, something RNG, thought that feels good RNG might work for them, but yeah, like I said before, I think those maps that require great consistency might be their best bet going into this last pick. Well, it's actually not last pick, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Probably last pick, honestly speaking, as we do still have Double Time 1 and Double Time 3 up in this pool, and Very Cool hasn't broken into Nomad 2 yet either, so you know, all those picks are open for Very Cool. So this next pick from Black Belt, very likely their last pick. We'll see how it goes, though. After that 3-way full combo, almost 4-way full combo from Very Cool on Nomad 5, I definitely expect Black Belt to ban out Double Time 3 as their next ban. We'll see how that goes, though. And yeah, Hard Rock 1 and DT3 banned out. No real surprises there. You have been paying attention at all to the match so far. I think those bans make sense. Very Cool just banning out the relatively easy Hard Rock 1 in this map pool. Ray by the Oral Cigarettes. Definitely not a map that requires a super high skill cap until you get nearer the end of the map. And Double Time 3, of course, the speed map in DT. Very high BPM, 263 BPM. Black Belt is not going to pick Nomad 2. They are not going to pick that map. Maybe they'll pick something like the Nomad 3. I could actually see them going with something like a Nomad 3 pick here. Maybe they pick something like the Free Mod 2. I could also see that map going well for them. But I think it's probably one of those two. Maybe a Nomad 1 if they're feeling like it with these players, but just whatever these 4 players feel the most comfortable with. Maybe Hidden 1, actually. Okay, not what I was thinking of, given how streamy this map is overall, but it is going to be the Hidden 1 pick from Black Belt to come out now. Just a quick go over this map. This is a much streamier, more modern version of Gigantic OTN than the relatively old version with Guy mapping on it. Camo here doing a lot more with weird stream spacing and generally making a much streamier version through a lot of bursts interlaced between some of the awkward aim patterns in this map, to the point where I think this map functions less as an awkward aim pick in Hidden 1 and more as a stream aim pick, especially when you get to the long stream spike in the second half of this map. We saw just about everybody break on that besides Thunder in the previous match to give you a sense of just how hard that pick is. When it gets to that point, you're probably going to see combos drop for the majority of these players.
Yeah, I'm still a fan of the old Gigantic OTM. Can't beat the original. But you know, this is probably a close second. Sure, why not?
I like that cover a lot better too. I don't like this cover nearly as much as the original. Definitely my least favorite cover of this song from Yumikono. Please stick to other songs. White Cat coming in for this one. Bubbleman, Taquito, Zudinator, all going in for this pick. No big surprises there for this roster. Could have maybe seen Fiery Rage coming in for a pick like this, given the BPM and the fact that it is hidden streams. He has been a relatively good hidden player in tournament as of recent. Funnily enough, you usually think of Fiery Rage as a hard rock player. He definitely still is very good on those hard rock picks, especially the precision maps. But his hidden in tournament has been very good in the last couple of years. So a little bit surprised to not see him in. But Bubbleman, of course, very solid on everything. So never really too surprising to see him in for a map.
Big chain miss for White Cat there. You know, still could be his first map of the day. Executor there also had that early trade up, but White Cat is just thinking all over the place. He is not prepared for this map.
Unfortunately for Black Belt, both Zubs and Kirito missing, I think, makes it so that even those multiple breaks from White Cat aren't going to bring the combo over immediately to their side. They're going to have to keep up these combos through a large part of probably the first half of this map, given what we know about that long stream section near the end.
Breaks there. Never mind.
Oh, yeah, never mind. A couple of breaks there, actually. Zubs and Chekta both finding the... Oh, and Defon's gone now. And Zubs having a little bit of fun with it, I think, after that break. Kind of knows exactly what he needed to do was hold the combo at all costs, and it did not happen. Now, 3 full combos to none in the favor of Very Cool, as X-Kirito doing his best right now with the reverse choke to hold on to the score for Black Belt. Just not going to be enough, though. 99% for all 3 of these FCs coming out of Very Cool right now. Bubbleman and Taquito dropping the accuracy a little bit there now, down below that 99% mark. Oh, almost everybody breaking on that slider. It's Zubs and Taquito who are able to keep the combo together. Taquito breaking right afterwards, but that high-velocity slider just claiming 6 players all at once. Zub's the only player to still have any combo intact from beforehand, but unfortunately not going to be nearly enough combo to bring the score back in the favor of Black Belt. That 350k score lead still going to exist for probably quite some time after this longer stream section here.
Yeah, I'd be very impressed if people were able to hold through this. It seems quite brutal in the spacing here, and spacing change as well. They loop around. And looks like you've just got Zooey and Bubble holding on there throughout the whole thing. And it's honestly not the highest score I think we'd expect from Very Cool on this sort of map. I mean, it's enough to win them the point, but there are definitely other teams in the tournament that would potentially punish them quite harshly for a score like that on this map.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot less of a dominant score than I think we would have expected from Very Cool. I think just made dominant by the fact that Black Belt had a lot of trouble with this pick, right? 300k average score for them on this map is definitely not what you want to see as Black Belt, and so unfortunately they're not going to be able to take a point off of Very Cool in this matchup. Will be dropped down to losers bracket 5-0 by the heavy favorite seed number 3 out of qualifiers in Very Cool.
Yeah, not really, unfortunately, too much you can say about this. Was just a little too much of a skill gap on this one. When you look at the teams at the top of the seeding, there is quite a bit of there's quite a jump in player consistency and strength, and it's just one of those unfortunate situations where it's a top seed versus a low seed, and nothing came of it, unfortunately, for the lead team there. But Very Cool, managing to do what's expected, really. 5-0, very solid performance from them.
Yep, absolutely. So congratulations to Very Cool on the win there, and good luck to Black Belt in the losers bracket.